welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 226. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who's pleased to see the first issue of Constipation Monthly magazine comes with a free ring binder. Danny Bloody Dan! He's here. Whoa, your finger guns are broke.
I think it got jammed.
Alec.
Oh, there we go.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh.
Hey-o.
That's topical.
You alright?
Yeah, good. You alright?
I'm not too shabby. Apologies, this is a very late podcast because of me. Been ill.
Well, I'll tell you what, Callum, it's never going to be because of me, is it?
I mean, the last one was, so...
What do you mean?
We did it the day after. Because you went to dinner or something.
No, I was in Scotland.
That was it.
Yeah, I was in another country. That's hardly my fault.
Still your fault. I mean, it's of course it's your fault. you didn't get kidnapped.
That's true.
Anyway, we've got some big news, Dan. We've had a big old trailer for Black Panther 2.
Wakanda Forever.
And we
I think
find
that's what it's called, is it?
Yeah. Finally we see a little bit of Ironheart zipping about, about all over the shop, and the brand new Black Panther in all its
essentially
feminine glory.
Yeah, but still no indication on who that's going to be.
So that's my bad, but it does pretty much confirm it because she got Black Panther boobies on the suit.
Yeah, but that could just be any of the female
It could be
cast,
any
though.
female.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this is that it's going to be like this is going to be more female led now because we've got Ironheart and there's still Okoye and I would have it would have made more sense for her to be the new Black Panther given her exceptional skill.
I don't know because it's a heritage thing, isn't it? Which is another reason why it'd have to be Shuri.
Yeah, but there's no new Black Panther flowers.
But maybe
how are they gonna?
Maybe this suit is more of an Iron Man-esque suit.
Well, that's what I was thinking though. Like, if it was a tech-based suit, so like the speed and the strength and whatever, then that makes way more sense for it to be Shuri because then it's like a tech panther rather than a herb panther.
Yeah.
But then if that's the case and it's like a tech-based suit, then why is Ironheart making a big, clunky, old-school Iron Man suit when there's like nanotech all over Wakanda just on hand?
Well, we don't know that she might not even be making that in Wakanda. That might be her first. That might be her cave suit.
Oh, and then she like picks up, or like she gets picked up by Wakandans or something like that, and then taken there. Yeah, maybe.
And her and Shuri build a new suit together.
But I'm just a little disappointed though because I always thought that the introduction of Ironheart would come from either an Iron Man movie or like Armor Wars or whatever, which is now a movie, by the way, not a TV show anymore. So I don't know how I feel about that. That's either they said we're going to just, instead of it being 9 episodes, we're just going to just condense it and put all the budget into just like 2.5 hours, or it's going to be a movie that's made to look, or at least looks like it's a TV show. Yeah. And so far, the TV shows have been middling in terms of their just sort of overall cool quality.
Well, that's been moved to whatever department to make a movie. Don't think it's warranted given the stature of it, but we'll see.
Again, if it was the launch for Ironheart and then she shows up in Black Panther, then that would make a bit more sense. Like if she makes her first cave suit, if you want to think of it like that, and then in Wakanda she gets, like Shuri's like, put all that shit in the bin.
What the fuck is that
like,
shit?
I can knock you one of these up in a weekend. So you could very well be right there. That's like her first attempt, or like she finds like an old Iron Man suit or some tech in a desert or whatever, and
builds upon it,
fashions it herself. Or she's just like Ms. Marvel, kind of like she's just a big fan and it's just like I
can make one of them.
But to like be introduced as like a Iron Man, like in the same way that She-Hulk obviously had the Hulk there to kind of like, okay, now you're in the Hulk family. Yeah. Like you'd think that with like, because you'd think you'd be like, oh, if it was the kid from Iron Man 3 and he was a new Iron person, then you go, okay, well that character's already established as like knowing Iron Man and being inspired by him or whatever. Whereas this could just be some rando character that's just sort of like, oh, by the way, that's going to be the new Iron Man now. Yeah. There you go.
It's looking that way.
So, potentially, but I think that this is.
But then again, saying that makes it make more sense to be in here, because who else better than Shuri to help her make a suit? Rhodey ain't gonna do it.
No, when he breaks, he's done.
Yeah, he's fucked.
He's like, what am I gonna do?
Though it makes sense, but just on stuff being moved, Blade's lost its director.
Yeah, I did see something very briefly from what's his name, Marshall Ali.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name, so apologies. But he was like just incredibly frustrated with like the way that the movie's going as a whole, which really fills me with dread, because that was one that I'm such a fan. Like, I loved the original Blade. I mean, I think I've still got the DVD in my living room, but I watched the ever-loving shit out of that film because it was so violent, and then
paved the way for comic book films.
In some ways, it did, yeah. I mean, not really the R-rated stuff for quite a while.
No, but it opened it up, and it started that leather spandex.
It was somewhat serious, yeah. It was like, it wasn't all sort of silly costumes and outrageous nonsense. It was
pretty outrageous.
Kind of, but like it still sort of made sense. It wasn't like magic and aliens. It was just sort of like, well, there's vampires and there's always vampires, and like it's the same with like any vampire film. It's like, it's just vampires, and they just vampire about. No one knows about them because they're very good at being vampires. Except that What We Do in the Shadows vampires were terrible at being good vampires,
and no one seems to.
Well, it's because they just hypnotise everyone. It's like, you forget that we're a vampire. Yeah, okay, no worries.
Excellent show, well worth watching if you haven't watched it. Have you caught up yet? Have you finished?
No, I'm still probably about halfway through season 3, I think. I need to finish that off, but then I started watching The Vicar of Dibley. So
what we do in the shadows over Vicar of Dibley?
I don't know, man. Some of those first seasons of Vicar of Dibley is fucking... And then Father Ted, which is also on 4OD.
I was talking about... Hey, have you watched Rick and Morty?
No.
That's on 4OD.
It is, but it's not finished yet, has it?
No, but the last...
No, I might just...
Last episode was excellent. It was very funny.
Oh, good.
Proper return to form, just absolute ridiculous batshit Rick and Morty, like to the point of, no spoilers, but remember I think it was the last season or the season before, when he just randomly is just like lab coat, rip off Doctor Strange, and then just flies around and stuff. This episode,
it's the heist con.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
yeah.
But this there's so many parts of this episode where Rick does something that he's never done before, like Inspector Gadget and fucking everything. We'll probably never see him do again, but it's just really well fucking done. Really good episode. Right. Really liked it.
How many are in? How many's out now?
I want to say 5.
That's not enough.
It could be 4.
Because if they're real good, I'll have to plough through them all.
Yeah,
so I'd rather have.
It's been a great season so far. It's been a very good season so far. I mean, it'll last you a while on 4OD because you have to watch like 70,000 adverts.
Well, that's the biggest issue with it. Like, I don't mind if I'm watching something that's like Father Ted or whatever. Yeah. That's on 4OD, and there's adverts at the start and in the middle. But I'm usually doing something whilst I'm watching that, so it's just sort of like, well, there's an advert now. I'll just concentrate more on whatever I'm doing. And also, I downloaded Chivalry 2, which just popped up on Game Pass as well. We are 100% doing some videos on that because I don't know if you've seen it, but it's fucking chaos.
I haven't looked at Game Pass at all this week. Don't know what I've been playing.
Oh, mate.
Well, I say been playing on Sunday. I started playing Deadpool, the game, because you started playing it the other day, and that put me in the mood. And then obviously we've had the Deadpool 3 news. So I also played Wolverine Origins.
Oh, really? Have you got that?
Yeah, I still got it. Excellent game, mate.
No way.
Such a good game. Yeah. Way better than the film.
Well, soon we're getting the Insomniac Wolverine game, aren't we?
And I'm hoping...
Is that next year? The year after?
I think it's 24, I think.
Yeah, I think it might be the year after because we haven't even had a proper trailer for it yet.
There's no proper trailer, and we haven't had Spider-Man 2 yet.
That's true. What do you reckon there's going to be a tie-in?
No, but obviously we've already had the trailer for Spider-Man 2.
I see.
Year,
right,
so that's got to... They must have started that way before Wolverine. I know they've probably got multiple...
I mean, to be fair, with the sort of the success story they've had, that they've smashed Spider-Man. Miles Morales, from what I've been told, is really good. That comes out on PC at some point this month as well. Maybe the next week or two, actually. Then they've got Spider-Man 2, which we can only assume is going to just be like, they just go, right, we'll just do the same stuff again, add more cool animations and like crazy bosses and stuff like that to fight. Brilliant. That's going to knock it out of the park. The Wolverine's probably the one where I'm just sort of like, well, that isn't, from what they've been doing so far, that isn't that same kind of like big open world. Or if it is, it would be kind of wasted if it was, because well, you're just going to stick him on his bike and drive around town all fucking night.
Yeah,
like,
I reckon.
You just want it to be.
I reckon they'll Days Gone
like,
it.
Nah, I think it'll still be. I don't think there'll be an open world, or not in the sense of like an actual city to mooch about in. I reckon it'll be more sort of like, you know, like Deadpool in that sort of linear sense. Like,
yeah.
You know, you go to a place, maybe there'll be like areas within that you can sort of visit and stuff, but I don't think it'll just be like going to do a side mission, then go and do a side mission, then go and do a side mission. I think it'll be a bit more spaced out.
Do you think it'll be more like in the style of like Ratchet and Clank? Because that was Insomniac made Ratchet and Clank, and do you remember? Oh, what was that game? Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
More like that. So it is massive areas, but not, or like The Last of Us. So Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I'd say Last of Us might be a good shout. Like, I don't like. To be fair, it could just be the entire. Like, they go, well, fuck it, we've already got like everything exists.
Yeah.
It's just that like you'd have to start doing interiors and stuff like that rather than rooftops and all that kind of stuff. Well, I like the idea of just having like big areas that are completely destructible.
Yeah. Which is
like, so instead of it being just sort of like it's incredible cities like to zip about in, instead it's just a smaller area, much smaller area, but it's like good lightsaber stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you sort of miss someone and you hit a wall, like you claw through the wall. Anything that you can, like in that kind of like Metal Gear Solid Revengeance or Resurgence or whatever the fuck that Raiden was called.
Revengeance.
Yeah, it's like some nonsense word, but like you can like cut anything like in half or whatever. So like that would be good. Like
the watermelon demo,
instead of it just being like, yeah, like what that was supposed to be. Yeah. So like you can just, but if you're doing Wolverine, like, do you want to be chopping up bodies? Like, are they going to let them get away with that?
Yeah, they have to. I mean, to be fair,
but that's the thing. Do they?
If you look at the like in the trailer, there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of cut up people, like missing hands and stuff.
True, but it could just be the sort of like you just swipe at someone and they go falling down. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get slashed open.
Oh, they did it. I don't know. I think it was THQ and Activision that made Wolverine Origins. I honestly can't remember. I want to say THQ. Pretty sure it was. That he's cutting people's heads off. He's fucking cutting arms off. He's fucking gutting
them.
True,
but that was based on a film.
Well, no, it was out
reasonably.
They made the game before they didn't know what the film was about, which is why it's so much better. But the opening, I still think the opening at the video is. I'd watch a film about that.
Like it's there's soldier gets blown in half, and then he's like the whole sort of like re-healing side of things. Like they did that in the Deadpool game as well. I like that effect of just being sort of like I did. When I was playing the Deadpool one, I don't know if it's been updated or something, but I don't remember it being quite as good looking as it is. But someone had shot something and it had exploded, like it was like a grenade or something like that. It got off pretty much in his face, and as I was like turning around to go and attack someone, like just his mask and all the skin off his face was gone, his nose was gone. It was just like all the muscles on his face, and I was just like, that's such a good little touch. Like you could have just had like a blood spot, or something like that. Like, it's an easy get away. Yeah, but they've modelled like all the tissue underneath, so everything can eventually get chipped away. So hopefully this Wolverine one has that effect, but like a dozen times better.
They did it in because I mean, like this came out obviously. Origins came out before the Deadpool game did, but like even in that, like I stood next to like an oil canister thing that got exploded, and all of his stomach went, and it just had like the thinnest bits of skin holding it together. And then I just like swung the cameraman, just watched it slowly just go.
Yeah.
But if you put invincibility on, if I remember rightly, if you put the invincibility cheat on and just get set on fire and blown up and stuff all the time, it will just reduce it to like a fucking T-13 because it's just adamantium.
T-13.
Yeah, it's like Weapon X. I'm bridging the Terminator and the X-Men universe together.
It's about time. I mean, to be fair, doesn't Disney own Fox now? Aren't the Terminators? Aren't they Fox? Is that Fox?
I want to say.
I know Aliens are, but I can't remember if Terminator.
I think Terminator's Universal, isn't it?
You might be right.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But that would be... Because then you could slip a Terminator and go, oh, like there was a secret invasion of all the Skrulls. Oh, but there's like 40 people that were also Terminators as well, sure. The Skynet future is actually this Jarvis that just went maniacal, like Ultron came back or something like that. Bang, Skynet, crossover complete.
Who do you reckon would win between Terminator and Ultron?
Ultron?
No, hand to hand.
Like, because he can move quickly, yeah, and
That's
fly
true,
and shoot lasers and stuff. Like, there's no real challenge there. Every
now and again, I'll get like an email thing through from I don't know how you say it, Quora.
Oh, Quora, yeah.
Yeah, for like the questions and stuff.
Oh, is that with like the weird picture? No, that's WikiHow. Isn't
yeah. Like Quora is like, so someone will go on and go, why do dandelions always grow in some sort of garden? And then someone will have an answer for it. But I've obviously looked at something in the past, and I'll keep getting these fucking but you can only read so many answers before it'll go, well, if you want to read more, you need to sign in. So I've just signed in.
Yeah.
Here's my email. I want to read some more. So every now and again I'll get an email, and yesterday I had an email saying, if Darth Vader entered the MCU, who could take him out?
Well, sorry, I'm just sending a text there.
How unprofessional.
I know, right? I had my MSN back in the day. No one remembers that, I bet you. But my MSN tagline thing underneath where your name was
Quora.
Forever was who would win in a fight, Spider-Man or a Jedi? Because of the Force and the almost ESP level sort of predictive reactionary kind of the pure reflexes on both of them. And I'd say to be fair, did you say Vader? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just kill most people. To be fair.
Well, most of the answers was Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones could beat him as long as he got the first attack. Otherwise, Vader can just cut
his arm off.
The gauntlet off. Not even just using lightsaber, just
smush his brain. Something. Yeah.
Obviously, Ego, because he's just ginormous. Yeah.
Taking him out. To be fair, but a bomb. I watched Guardians 2 the other day actually, and as long as you get to his brain thing, he's pretty fucking useless when you get there.
The thing is though, with and again, I'm just taking this from what was answered. So this isn't me personally, but from what's documented, the most Vader's ever lifted is 12 ton. It's the most he's lifted. So he wouldn't be able to do anything to him unless obviously gets inside. But on that same flip side, if it was a strength thing, Spider-Man can lift 350 ton or something fucking ridiculous.
I don't think it's that. I think it's 100 or something. Might be.
I think it's 150. Saying that, I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah. But again, if you just trap him in the Force in the air, well, he's useless.
He can lift. 300 ton.
300. Well, they've severely depowered him then for the MCU.
This is in the comics. He can lift up to 100 to 300 ton. So,
well, that's a big. That's.
I imagine that's just dependent on the writer.
Yeah, maybe it's it's the difference between a car and a battleship.
Yeah, they do that in Civil War. Thingy that Cap drops on him when he has to hold it.
Yeah,
up.
There's that
the container thing.
No, it's a tunnel. So to be fair, you could argue that it's hollow. It's it's all metal, but it's just hollow.
He's strong.
It's not, but he struggles with it. But he's still 15.
Yeah, it's 12.
Give him 10 more years. Yeah.
But in the, I think most of them.
But my point being, you lift him up, you force lightning him. It's not doing anything, is it?
No. The Bat in the Sun. They did Spider-Man versus Darth Maul. And
that'd be even worse, with the two blades zipping about.
Hey, one. Because he got the symbiote.
Okay.
And it's fan voted, so it's irrelevant.
Oh, right, okay, well then, yeah, it doesn't matter, I suppose.
Well,
like, that's just ill-informed people. It's all the people who go, oh, Batman will beat Superman, yeah, no worries.
I mean, Batman beat Vader.
Again,
no, he didn't. Vader won.
That doesn't make any sense.
But it was really cool because you got to see Batman with a lightsaber because it was filmed really well, as most of the ones they do. But Vader wins because he knocks him out of the thing, but Batman, he's got like a space fucking bat wing thing, and then he like rises up to shoot him, and then Vader just like strips it, and then obviously Batman suffocates because he's in space. But then the alternative one for if Batman had won, it's the same thing, but the whole time Vader's got Superman locked away with some kryptonite, and then Batman does a thing to free him, and then as he's about to kill Batman, Superman comes through, he's like, and then kills him.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
So it just depends on the one that would definitely lose cheating.
Yeah, but what would you do if you went against Vader?
Well, if you go, well, Batman's going to bring in his plane and Superman, and go, okay, well, Darth Vader brings in the Death Star and blows the planet up. Bang, he wins.
I don't know. They took the Death Star's pretty. I reckon Batman could take the Death Star out. Luke did it.
True, but he also had the entire rebellion backing him up. He didn't do it on his own.
Yeah, he's got the Justice League.
No, they'd fuck it up. And plus, it's all in space, so that limits it to like.
Okay then.
Superman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. Maybe he can fly in space, can't he?
Probably. Wonder Woman.
Can he? No, actually, you need the jet. But then again, if you got a plane or a ship, you can shoot that down just as easy as any X-Men. Not in space though.
I suppose Superman's not from Earth, is he? So. Yeah, maybe not. But the Flash versus Darth Vader.
Again, it's one of those things that if, like, it depends on like what kind of, if you want to sort of make up like weird force powers or whatever, like if you've got like force super reflex or whatever, like I don't think you'd be able to keep up with him.
Yeah.
But all you'd have to do, if you just sort of like just fucked with the floor or shot lightning out or just made him like lose his, and you just had a lightsaber in the way.
I've got one. Ignore the Flash, Dan. That's a stupid idea. Ignore it. Magneto
versus Vader.
Suit's metal.
It is metal. Most of his like life support system is metal. So unless Vader would have the chance to like whip his lightsaber at him, maybe. And if you went,
that's got metal on it as well.
But again, is that a metal that Magneto could control?
We'll just go on the assumption that it's all, because again, dependent on comics. There's been instances when like he's gone against Iron Man, and Iron Man's built a wooden Iron Man suit to counter the thing, but he's
like fucking Rick and Morty again.
But Magneto still manages to stop him in his tracks, and they're like, "How is he doing this?" And it's like because of the iron in your blood, he can manipulate that as well. So that's just literally any type of fucking metallic thing. So we're going. Yeah. That's what we're going on. So even though it's space metal, that's irrelevant. It's still metal.
But yeah, it's space. So it could be like a space polymer or something like that. But if you think that, okay, well, if he starts to like pull him apart, well, Vader will just force choke him.
I don't know.
So like it depends on whether Magneto could rip him apart quick enough to like before he got force choked to death or like unconscious or something. Maybe
you just finally press one of their red buttons, see what they do.
Maybe.
One's
that activates his karate chop action though.
One's got a whoopee cushion.
It'll be your downfall. You get close enough to touch one of those buttons and he just karate chops you right in the head.
It'd be worth it.
I reckon if you could stop Magneto's concentration and you whip a light out or you do anything else, you throw a rock at him, like we know that Vader's very good at that from what we've seen in Kenobi. So if you just stop him from just like pulling you apart and you just whip something at him or something, like you can't stop that.
I don't know. I reckon he could do it quick enough. Or because he wouldn't rip apart. He could crush him, couldn't he? Do it so it's
but again, like it depends on like how much of his innards of metal, I suppose.
Take the Crusher's helmet.
But that looks like it's more plasticky more than metal. If I'm honest.
Yeah, but I think that's just down to costume.
Maybe, but like if they go, it's like some space polymer or something like that. It's like it's light, so you're not carrying like a huge like helmet, like a knight's helmet on your head constantly. So something lightweight.
I reckon
there's like metal stuff in it, like diodes and that kind of shit in there, isn't there?
I reckon he'd stand a pretty good chance.
I reckon that you need to jump him. And again, Vader not be aware of that this is going to happen. I mean, their reaction times are quick enough to stop lasers, so you'd have to time it very quickly.
A team up of Vader, the Flash, Nightcrawler.
Again, Nightcrawler. I think I don't think he'd be quick enough.
Yeah. You go, poof.
Yeah. But if
Wolverine.
you know what they're doing or where they're coming out. Wolverine, I think that would be an interesting one. Like, that's what I was going to ask you, actually.
Ow.
Like, when they eventually introduce, like, Wolverine, like a proper Wolverine in the MCU, do you reckon that they would just say that he's got a vibranium skeleton? I mean, obviously they'll have the rights back to adamantium at that point, so will they say that, oh, Cap's shield, that's vibranium? Everyone knows that vibranium is, like, because, like, the whole thing from, like, the First Winter Soldier is like, oh, we got this, like, tiny bit of vibranium, and this is all we could do with it. But if then they go, oh, well, there's Wakanda and it's full of the shit. But then if they go, well, actually, this guy's made of adamantium, and this stuff, there is only a tiny bit in the world, and that's what's on his skeleton. But, because, like, we've seen, like, Cap's shield get, like, torn apart by, like, Thanos' big sword thing. So, like, in the universe, it's obviously not an indestructible metal. But if they go, like, adamantium
strong.
absolutely is. So, like, if they go, oh, Thanos' blade, that was adamantium. So it could cut through with enough force. Could get through his shield, maybe. But then could a lightsaber, could that go through adamantium? Or would it be like a Beskar kind of thing? Would it just bounce off?
I'd say you'd have to put it in the same caliber as Beskar, wouldn't you? Because there's... I mean, it's awkward doing universe to universe things because things
the way it's going, mate, they're all going to be owned by one company. So
they already are, aren't they? So they're already owned by them. But I think...
No, I mean, like... Oh, no, yeah, you're absolutely right, yeah.
But
I mean, maybe if they do a Marvel What If, and then they go, well, fuck it, Star Wars and Predator, and just put them all in there.
Your What Ifs are the perfect places to do them because you haven't got to commit to anything. Just have here's a episode where Darth Vader and Cyclops go to remortgage a house together. And
I mean, they'd have to be really running out of ideas for that one to fly.
But I think because the thing with Vader versus Wolverine, Vader could take him out potentially, but I don't know how he would do it per se. Other than like his suffocation and stuff.
I mean, but again, like it depends on because the Force, as we've seen it in like live action media, if you want to think of it like that's like the limitation or whatever you've seen him do, like so telekinesis and Force choke. So he can't do Force lightning because we haven't seen him do Force lightning. But then if you look at like in like the wider media and like the Legends universe, like what you can actually do with the Force and like it's like corruption ability and that kind of stuff, like that seems way more interesting rather than just throw rocks at him until he's squished. Like like you can like it's some sort of like weird alchemy or something. You can like change its molecular make, or like you can instantly speed up its poisoning process and kill him. Like do you know what I mean? Like or like corrupt his mind before you could do the physical damage. I
don't think Vader could do any of those things, though.
No, I'm not saying necessarily that be the case, but like if you went to like someone with like Revan-like powers, where it's just sort of like just a tree of just unlockables.
Literally.
So you could do your lightning, you could do your Force powers, like your push or whatever, but you can also like corrupt people's mind or just stop them fighting.
Yeah.
You just go, no, you don't want to fight me anymore, and he's like, yeah, fair enough. Like that would be the level of power you'd have to put him up against.
I mean, again, all of this is hugely irrelevant because if this happened,
none of them are real. Yeah,
no. But if this happened, it will be completely down to the writer
and whoever they would want to win.
Yeah.
So if they go, you can't have like a really good guy and a really bad guy, and have the really good guy lose.
Yeah.
Like, the bad guy's still going to lose at the end of it, even though people would. I bet if you put like 1,000 people in a room and said, which do you prefer, Wolverine or Darth Vader? I reckon I'd say maybe not the vast majority,
Wolverine.
but the majority would probably be Vader, because it's more in society. People know who that is, even if they don't know.
I'd go Wolverine. because he's my favourite character of everything.
Yeah, but that's like but then it's the whole, well, Batman's my favourite, so
this is what I'm saying though. So Marvel have come to me and said we're going to do a one shot comic. It's Wolverine versus Darth Vader. Wolverine will win because I'm writing it.
Yeah.
And that's not just that any media. That's obviously how the writing process works. And some people will be unhappy with the outcome of it, a la Jason Todd, to the point where you'll get a vote and you can kill him off if you want because they made a fuck up. But then
I don't know if that was. I don't know if that actually had any sway in the matter at all.
No, I mean he was wrote to be like the opposite of Dick Grayson, and he is a dick, and he is an absolute shithead, and people just didn't like him. But I did like the vote process idea. I thought that was a really cool.
But you watched Andor, which is a show we haven't talked about yet, but that started now. I think we're a bit split on it in terms of how much both of us are enjoying it.
I really like it. Just
I think it is in terms of like how it, because I know you like more the Western style of like Mando, but this is just sort of like a down in the gutter, gritty, awful. Like this is the. It's not even like just like this is just like the scum of the universe. Yeah. This is where they all hang out. It's just sort of like when you're not a part of an empire, but you've been oppressed by them, even not directly. Everyone else has been, and you're just sort of like caught up in the shit side of it. And like you're sort of like downtrodden by corporations and stuff like that. It feels like it's a more meaningful story than just here's a cool hero character. It's a guy who's absolutely being shown as being an absolute prick. He's an absolute prick, and like you can. I mean, but again, like he's been trained. Like probably a bit of spoilers for Andor. But I messaged you after I watched the first episode, and just to see if you watched it. But I told you that like in like the first 5 minutes. They set the tone for that whole show. Yeah. And they have him outright shoot a guy point blank in the face. After he manslaughtered a guy. So he killed a guy by accident, fair enough. But that would usually be the like, oh my god, what have I just done? Oh well, I can't deal with this, and then escaping and maybe getting picked up by the rebellion. But his mate's there like, okay, well, that was an accident. I saw it was an accident, and I definitely don't want you to shoot me, so I'm sorry about everything. And he just goes, no, fuck you, bang! And just shoots him in the face. And I was like, wow. But that is.
Then when he has the opportunity to kill the thingy officer, like the obvious antagonist for the show, he doesn't kill him.
That guy.
But why didn't he kill him?
I don't know, but maybe that's it. Maybe the whole sort of like just absolute execution of like his panic state of like, oh god, like he doesn't want to repeat that, or maybe he doesn't want to make matters any worse than they already are. Maybe
I don't think it.
But that like
worse.
Absolute sniveling like. Like prim and proper, like changed his uniform. He's all about the order, and like his boss is just like, yeah, that's not how all of this works. Like you just like shit like this, you just let it slide, and you don't want to say that there's a murder on the loose because we look weak because of it. So stop it. Like, and then like he's this absolute, by the book nerd, and then like the Empire come in and they're just like, shut up,
fuck off,
like. You absolutely don't have any jurisdiction. You think you do, but you only do because we aren't here. But now we are, so fuck off. Like it's Doc Brown, isn't it? That's the Imperial like ISB agent. That's that like starts getting up all in the. Like, I'm almost positive it is. Like the guy who's like he's a rapper and. Yeah, it's Christopher Lloyd.
I'm gonna say,
he's
definitely
50 years younger
Lloyd.
And black. No. Like, do you know who I mean? From like, he's in like Derek, and he's been in a couple of like. Remember that Ricky Gervais song, the Equality Street?
Vaguely.
He's like, I think it's him. He's in Derek, and he's in. I think a couple of other Ricky Gervais things.
The Scottish guy, who's like talking a guy into.
I love him.
He was in.
He's just sort of like, yes,
Street.
Captain Nerds. Yeah, he was right. I knew I recognised him from something. But like I love the fact that it's just like all the bad guys, all British, every one of them. Like, but now it's from like different parts of Britain as well. So there's a Scottish guy I've heard.
There's a Cockney guy.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and then you've got like Chief Detective Nerd, who is like he is American, I think, but like it seems like it feels almost like it's a British guy putting on an American accent. It feels
it's got like a posh twang.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like roguish.
I think he's meant to be. Nah, he's just meant to be proper, prim and proper. And
yeah, but then I like
English. Well, British,
yeah, exactly.
Rather.
Like we're always the good bad guy, you know. But this just smacks of just like everyone is like the rebellion just doesn't exist yet. Like everyone is paranoid. Yeah. Look at the grand nature of like this Gestapo agency. Like, do you reckon we'll get Task out of it? What's his name? Hask from Rebels, the double agent.
Oh fucking! Oh my god!
He's got a code name, but I think it's Agent Hask. It's
Fulcrum's the code name.
Fulcrum.
But the guy is. Oh my god! No, because it's a different part of the galaxy. But
I mean, I'm just thinking like timeline wise, because I'm sure he's an ISB agent, and this is like this same like Imperial Security Bureau thing. I think.
Callus.
Agent Callus, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
He was
so
cool.
Like, do you reckon we could? Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, do you reckon that like not even that character necessarily, but there'd be like these sort of like enforcer rather than just sort of it's all bureaucrats and whatever, just sort of squabbling over who's got jurisdiction.
But this is like Rebels is around about the time of Rogue One, so you could, depending on.
Well, this is 5 years before.
Yeah, so Callus may be in the academy, but not.
Or he might be an agent, but he's not Fulcrum just yet. Maybe.
Well, it never explains how he becomes, because the first Fulcrum was Ahsoka.
I'm sure it's because he got sick. I think it was something to do with like I'm using my very vague Rebels memory here, but I'm sure he was either sick of it, like he was just sick of like the Empire, or he could fuck over someone like Thrawn, because he was like, if I just act as a double agent for you, I'm not a part of the rebellion necessarily, but feeding information to you makes me look better.
Yeah.
I think something like that, rather than just sort of like, I was a good guy the whole time.
Yeah, there's kind of, it's weird because you'll have moments where, like, he is outright trying to kill them, and then
of course he is. Like, there's no double play.
No, but that's why it's so weird. But then when you look back at other episodes, so like I was probably like August time, I started re-watching Rebels for like the 18th millionth time, and you notice things in the episodes knowing that at some point it's revealed that he's spoilers for Star Wars Rebels, but like there's an episode where him and Zeb get trapped on a planet, and after he's like broke his leg, and Zeb won't kill him until his leg's better, because he's like it's got to be a fair fight and stuff. But
I'll tell you what, smash his head in, and then when someone comes over and goes, what happened? He goes, oh, well, we had a fight, I broke his leg and then smashed his brains in. And no one in the galaxy can prove otherwise.
Fun fact, I say a fact, I don't know for definite, I'm pretty sure the guy who voices Zeb is Steve Blum, who is the voice of Wolverine in the animated shows.
Calabast.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was all right.
We need a gruff guy to come in and just shout catchphrases.
I love Star Wars.
But
Rebels.
don't let him kill anyone.
He's killed a few people.
Yeah, I mean they push him into walls and stuff like that.
I will say,
like, you can say that he's given some severe concussions, maybe.
Especially in like the last 2 seasons, there's quite a lot of people get killed, especially by Maul. Maul kills a few people.
I know, but like you can't have the good guys just like shoot someone. Like you can't like Jyn Erso it and just have them just shooting people in the face.
I mean,
like Cassian again, he shot someone in the back in Rogue One point blank because he was just sort of like, shit, this guy might talk. Yeah. Bang, dead.
Well, every time a ship blows up, someone's dead.
Unless they do that sort of like G.I. Joe stuff where the ship would explode and then they'd all just come flying out on parachutes
in space,
and they'd all be okay. Yeah, just space parachutes. They've all got big like fishbowl helmets on as well.
I love Rebels. It's so good.
Have them kill people or shut up.
They probably will in Ahsoka. They'll probably murder some people up.
Maybe, yeah.
Most probably droids and stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I think that because we had like a super battle droid that was shown briefly in Boba Fett, was it? No, Mando, I think.
No, it was Boba
Season
Fett.
2 Mando.
No, it was Boba Fett. It was the Mando episodes.
No, because it wasn't. It wasn't a Mando flashback.
No,
child flashback, and there's a battle droid that was.
No, we see battle droids. Like he uses the Darksaber to get through it.
No, not this fucking super battle droids like the Death Troopers, like the prequels super battle droids, like the big stocky R2D2.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the Roly droids.
Oh, the droidicas.
Droidicas, that's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
They're in Mando.
No, it's in Boba Fett. You know when him and Boba Fett going around with the jetpacks?
No. Wow, I didn't soak in much for that show at all, did I? Jeez.
I can't remember the gold mafia people. With like the black...
The gold mafia.
They're like the gold masks and stuff. And they...
Oh, the like spice
cartel. And they've got them trapped. And it's just him and Mando, and Boba Fett's just like, you can fuck off if you want. And he's just like, nah. And then Jabba's tit-headed fucking mate who took over.
Oh,
Fortuna.
Bib
Fortuna. He goes out to speak to him on Boba's behalf, and then basically gives him that note that's just like, go fuck yourself.
Oh no, that's not Bib Fortuna. That's like the mayor of the town.
Oh no, it was the Boba Fett killed him at the end of Mando season 2. Yeah, the mayor guy goes out, and then there's the big battle thing, and then the fucking droidicas are coming. No
way. I don't doubt you, but I did not remember them showing up.
There's a few of them.
Like any sort of like prequel stuff that like pops in. I think, like because I think it is in Mando then. So like the super battle droids show up in that, and it's like it's all like very sort of slow motion, like people running away, and then like through the smoke there's just sort of one like just shooting.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like getting like some like not wacky, stupid, campy robots that are just sort of like going whoa and just falling over all the time. Instead, if you got something like that that's like a Terminator basically, that's just going through a town, just absolutely devastate. Like if you think of like that kind of devastating battle robot in something like Andor, that's just like, because like all these people, they're all like scavengers and they're just sort of like barely holding everything together. Like something that was a real threat that would come in, it would just wipe them all out, and like it would just be genuinely terrifying. Like that dude just getting gunned down in the street when she's handcuffed to that wall. I was just like, Jesus Christ, what is this show,
though. He's
man?
A dickhead.
He was. What a bellend. But he seemed like he was just sort of like, it seemed that he wasn't just sort of like, well, I'm jealous or whatever. He's just sort of like, nah, this guy's...
He's bad news. To
be fair to him, he was a murderer. Like, he absolutely just shot some dude in the face. And he was like,
he didn't know
not only can I get rid of this guy, and, you know, I'm sleeping with this girl as well, so she won't have to sort of, you know, she maybe won't be more interested in him, and we'll get a big payout for it. It's a win-win-win.
But then he died and got nothing. Spoilers.
He got shot in the street like a bitch. I'm glad he didn't have, like, some, like, cool, like, payoff. He was just, gunned down, bang, dead.
Wasted.
Like, she's just there like I can't do anything. I'm just chained to a wall next to him. Like, it's fucking brutal, this show is.
Just want to say, as a callback to Quora, it wasn't a droidica in Book of Boba Fett. Some people have called them super droidicas. There's the Pikes, which was the organisation for the spice trade.
Pikes, of course it is, yeah.
These are Scorpionic Annihilator droids.
Okay.
And
so it's like an advancement of...
Well, no. Well, I assume this is like an upgrade. However, fun fact, Dan, according to this, these actually originated as concept art for what would eventually become the droidicas.
I love that. They seem to do that all the time at the moment. They just
backwards.
Go digging through 20, 30-year-old concept art and just go, that looks like a cool thing. Like Aura Singh. Wasn't that like... wasn't she like she was what's a Darth Maul was supposed to be, or something,
like that, yeah.
or like Star Killer maybe. And then they just sort of found the concept and was like, yeah, sure, let's just put her in Clone Wars, like the animated Clone Wars thing, and she was like a bounty hunter in that.
And she was badass.
Like whenever they've run out of ideas,
concept,
just fucking find a concept, bit of Ralph and Quarry art, just pop them in as well. Sure.
Have a look through your little sketch pad, see what you got, see what you can muster up.
Although that's just reminded me actually of like thinking like alternate skins for things. Like, do you think that like with the Insomniac Wolverine, there's going to be like a whole suit system, so you can have like classic comic yellow spandex, like X-Men Wolverine black leather.
I want the yellow. I don't want the black leather. I want the yellow blue. I want the tan and like the brown and tan suit. I want the X-Force suit. I want tank top and jeans, naked. When he's come out of the tank, like from the scene from Wolverine Origins when he comes out of the tank and he's all naked. I want that. And
I reckon there'll be like a Weapon X suit, like
with the helmet,
like full stupid helmet visor.
That's what was in X-Men 2, the game that Mark Hamill voiced Wolverine in. And there's outtakes at the end of the when you finish the game, which has got nothing to do with X2 either. By the way,
I didn't even know there was an X2
game. It was brilliant.
I mean, it makes sense. It was absolutely the time for it. But
it was a good game as well. But at the end of it, it's got like bloopers, like you know how they did with Toy Story.
Oh wow, they'd actually animate.
Yeah. There's like actual blooper stuff. So there's one, and he's just like, but then it's like a knife, fork, and a spoon. He's like, and then everyone's laughing behind the cameras and
stuff.
Didn't
they do that joke in a Lego game as well?
Yeah, but this came out long before there was any Lego Marvel games. This was on like PS2.
Yeah, X2 would have been it's like mid 2000s,
yeah.
isn't it?
It was a good game though, and I really liked it. And Mark Hamill voiced Wolverine.
That's a weird choice for a Wolverine.
He did an alright job. But in X-Men Origins, the game, yet again, mention it on this episode of the podcast, which is just turning out to be old Marvel game podcast. There's only 3 suits you can unlock. 4 if you include the one that you've already got.
So is that just like jeans and wife beater?
Like
a leather jacket with sunglasses.
No, you got your tank top and like camo trousers because he's in the army in the beginning of this.
Oh yeah, this is like the Vietnam era thing. Isn't
and then
it?
you can unlock the yellow and blue suit, the tan and brown suit, and the X-Force suit. And that's it.
Yeah, no, I think the Insomniac one, like they seem to like the variety of just like
I want loads.
Like because like they obviously the spider suits all have the gadgets and the like the perks that come with them. Obviously, you can't really have gadgets with it's just got claws and that's it. Unless you have like bones or not bones.
Yeah, you could do a bone one.
You can heal like if you choose like the original James Howlett costume, like no adamantium. So like you've got like a severe damage reduction, but your like healing abilities like way quicker, so you can like fight for longer basically, like a combo boost suit. Do you know what I mean? So you can like just hack away at people for a bit. Also, did you see that there's fucking a David Harbour bloody like Fat Man that Mel Gibson did, like a bad like murderous Santa Claus or whatever. Like David Harbour's doing one called Violent Night.
But the same kind of setup.
It's a Santa that's like
a hitman.
It's like a family that's been like there. It's sort of think of it like Home Alone, like the family's being home alone by like armed guards or whatever. And the girl is on Santa's nice list. And like he's just got like mad superpowers, and it's just David Harbour just like killing the shit out of these fucking guys.
I've not heard of that at all.
He gets like a Christmas star. Like this guy's like trying to shoot him, and then he stabs it in him, like stabs it in his eye, and then like he reaches around and plugs it in and just electrocutes him in the head. It looks mental. It looks like it could be terrible, or like it's just like a really sort of silly, wacky.
The Fat Man wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. I liked it.
I never got around to seeing that, and I was really excited to see that. But it was like a serious film.
No, it was fucking daft. It was, but in like a not silly violent like Deadpool, like jokes galore and whatnot. It was just really over the top.
Right.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was okay. And then there's I can't say because that's a spoiler for if you want to watch it. But like
I definitely will.
You find something out at the end and you just go,
Walter Goggins is in it as well, isn't he?
Who? Walter Goggins. Yeah. Walter Goggins is in it.
Where's that Fallout show that he's in? I haven't seen anything about that. I
think it's selling a vault.
Very good. That's a very good place to leave it, I think.
It is.
Terrible
it is.
Joke.
We're now 40 in. You can head over to podcastversusplayer.com where there is more podcasts, more gameplay stuff, more reviews, more animations, more. There's just more there. We're going to leave it there. Dan, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Nothing's gone up. Oh, Power Wash Simulator went up. Check that out. That's up. Went up the other day.
Cool.
2 filthy boys. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I gathered as well.
But yeah, go check that out. And then whatever other stuff's there. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Who told me in Nando's the area between the front and back entrance is called the perineum? Well, I'm not saying he's unlucky, but when he went to DFS to buy a sofa, the sale had finished.
Well, that's a joke that no one outside the UK is going to get.
Who's lost his favourite biro? Turned out it climbed out the window onto the roof and jumped to another building. It's the last time he buys a parkour pen. I told Zoe that one. She was like, I was like, what? What's not? That's a good joke, that is. And she's like, no. I was like, you don't even get it. She's like, I do. Peter Parkour. What? Who now declares this bomb disposal school open? Proceed with the scissors to cut the ribbon. No, I said the blue ribbon. Whose boiler broke last night and he had to get a man out. How he got in there in the first place, I'll never know. Who always says the vehicle you drive says a lot about your sexual preference, which is weird because he's just bought an ice cream van. Can't use that one.
Nope.
Who saw the president of France said the English are arrogant with their refusal to learn a foreign language. At least he thinks that's what he said. It just sounded like ha-he, ha-he, ha-he.